Hey, how's it going? This is Rob from Justin's Toys, and today I'm going to show you how to make the fish scale bracelet. This was designed by Christine, who is known as Loomy Mama on Instagram, and it's called the fish scale because, as you can see, each one of these look kind of like a fish scale. So I think the name is very appropriate. But fair warning, this bracelet does require about 300 bands and also requires 4 looms. It's an extremely advanced design, so I would highly recommend that you are a master at the starburst before proceeding. And if you're in for the challenge, continue and let's get started. To set up your loom for the fish scale, you want to match this setup right here. As you can see, there's 10 bar pins, so it does require that you have at least 4 looms. And one tip is that I like to use as many bases as I have lying around, and the most effective way to configure the bases is to have this zigzag pattern, as you can see. If you take a look at this setup closer, you'll notice over here there is a V shape. Make sure that V shape is on your loom, because if it isn't, then it is not configured right. And as you can see, I can take my hook and go diagonal both this way and that way. Right? So keep in mind that this full loom setup makes a bracelet that's about 7 inches long. My wrist is 6.5, so I'm going to stop around here. And the exact calculation to make a bracelet that fits perfectly around your wrist is in the description of this tutorial, so make sure you check that out. And just like every other Rainbow Loom bracelet, we are going to start with the arrow facing away from you, and we will be putting our first band on this peg right here. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be making this bracelet right here. As you can see, there's 3 different color scales. Yellow and gold down the center, while the outsides are going to be mint, metallic mint, and pink and metallic pink. And the first thing I'm going to do is grab this band right here, which is yellow, and I'm going to cap it and place it on this first center peg. Alright. If you don't know how to cap it, the easiest way is to put it on this peg, twist this, and then use the corner of that peg to get inside that loop right there, and then push the other end over. And this is going to be the last band we're looping later on. Next, we want to grab another first scale color and connect these 2 pegs, and another first scale color and connect these 2 pegs. Then grab a second scale color and connect these 2 pegs. And grab a third scale color and connect these 2 pegs. Just like that. Okay? Now, this is kind of like a starburst, but with only 3 pegs. You always want to make sure on your scales, you start with the band that faces 8 o'clock. Right, so we're putting an 8 o'clock, then a 6 o'clock, then a 4 o'clock band. Okay, and once you have those 3 bands placed there, then you want to place a cat band on top. All right, so now that we don't have the ease of access to the peg, we can just put the hook through the loop, bring it forward, creating that cross, and bring the hook through that loop that you created, and then put this cat man on top. Okay, now you want to go on these 4 pegs right here and do the same thing. 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Okay, then place a cat band on top. A quick tip is that do not choose a cat band that is the same color as these 3 bands, which is why I'm using this metallic jelly pink, because later on you will find that you are trying to distinguish these cat bands from these bands. And if you choose the same color, it'll make it extremely difficult. So try not to do that. I did that with my black and white version, and I literally had to go in and spend about an hour just making sure I picked up the right band. So we are doing the third scale right here on these 4 pegs. Again, 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Then a cat band on top. Okay, next I'm going to bring the borders up 1 peg, and I'm gonna have my scales alternating so that there's a teal scale over here, then next there's gonna be a teal scale over here, and a pink scale over here. But my centers are always going to be yellow or gold. So on this side I'm going to bring a teal up, and on this side I'm going to bring a pink up. And again, just like we did these 3 scales right here, starting from the center, we're grabbing our center color scale, which is yellow, 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, then cat band on top. Okay. And push down. Then over here, we're doing the same thing. 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, cat. Alright, now on these 4 pegs. 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Push down, and then cats. Okay, again, we're gonna up the borders. Right, so on this side, bring a pink up. Light green up. And again, from the center, push down on all of these to make space. 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, push down, and a cat. Okay, now on the left side, connecting these 2, 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, push down, and a cat. Now these 4 pegs. 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Push down, and cat band on top. Okay, so we're just going to continue this all the way down to the end. Like I said, I'm going to stop about 2 pegs before the end so that it's 6.5 inches. And I'm just going to go a little bit faster right now. So Alright, so I'm just going to fade to the end at this moment, and I'll see you when I'm placing my last sets of bands. Bring up the sides. Bring up the sides. Alright, so I'm going to do 2 more sequences before I bring this to an end, because it will be long enough right around here. This is going to be my 4th last scale, then this is my 3rd last, this is my 2nd, and this is going to be my last scale right here. So, in the center, 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, cat, here, 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, cat, okay, for here, 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, cat. And since I want to end it right here, I am not going to extend the sides. I'm just going to create my last scale over here, which is going to be gold and yellow. So 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and to end it, I'm going to put 2 cat bands, but connect these 2. Okay, so there's one. I'm going to connect those, push down, and there's 2. And the 2 cat bands will just help reinforce it. Alright, and at this point you should go back and make sure that there's cat bands on each of the center pegs. If you're missing one, what you can do is very carefully, I'll show you as an example. These sides you have to remove 2. Just like that. And you'll be able to put the cat band in here. Whereas the center pegs, you just have to make sure you put it back on in the same way that you took it off. In the center pegs there will be 3. First one will be the center, second one will be over here, and third one will be over here, and then you just put the cat band on top if it was missing. Right? So at this point we are ready to begin looping. So we're going to turn the loom around so now the arrow is facing towards you. Okay, so the first band that we're going to grab is this yellow right here. And what we want to do is get inside this set of cat bands and grab this and make sure it's this band. And you're going to bring it up and back to itself. Okay? Now before, when we were applying the bands, it was 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Now the time is going to change. It's going to be 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And it's very important that you follow that order, or else you're going to have bands that overlap improperly. Also, sometimes there'll be bands that are kind of like tangled, just like that. And it's always important that you're grabbing the right band. So as you can see, this is this end, but I need to grab 12 o'clock at this moment. So a good thing that I like to do is take my hook and just circle this peg, and that will almost naturally make the right band go to the top. Right? So now if I grab that top band right there, it should be 12 o'clock, as you can see. Right? Now 2 o'clock, bring it up. Now I want to go to this scale right here. Again, doing the same thing, but I am going to get in front of this cat band. Grabbing this end right here, which is 10 o'clock. Okay, bring it up and over. Next is 12 o'clock, getting in front, grabbing that top band. It's just the top band. Bring it up and over. And then 2 o'clock, in front of the cap band, grab this, bring it up, and now this right scale. Again, get in front of that cap band, grab that top underneath. That's 10 o'clock. Right here, grab the top band, 12 o'clock, and grab that last band, which is 2 o'clock. Okay, now we're gonna go on to the sides and bring up this band and this band. So get inside this teardrop shape, grab that one end, bring it up, and do the same thing on the other side. Get in that teardrop shape, bring this border band up. And again, we're just going to do the center scale, then left scale, then right scale. Same exact way, right? Starting from the center, there is a whole bunch of bands here, but you want to go all the way down until you get in front of that cap band, and then grab that first 10 o'clock yellow band, which is this. So we are going to go in. It's very hard to see because there's so many bands. So let me see, where's the best viewing angle? Should be right around here, but if you take a look, I'm going in front of everything, including that cap band, and over here I should have 3 remaining bands which are connected to this yellow, and this yellow, and I want to grab that top band only. Alright, so very carefully, I think I have that top band. I'm going to pull it out, and you see it is the other end of that band, so I'm bringing it up. Okay, now the same thing over here. Grab just that top band, bring it up, and as you can see, that is not this end, so now I have to put this band back and bring it back down. Alright, so that is probably the trickiest part, making sure you're grabbing the right band. And as I said before, one thing to make sure that the top band comes to the top is taking your hook and just rotating it around a couple of times, and hopefully that'll bring the bands in the right order. So we'll give it another go. Again, we have to get in front of all the bands, including that cap band. Grab that top band, and then pull it up. Still not it. So I'm just going to grab the bottom band and bring it up first. And there you go. And then this band. Okay? As long as these don't look like they're overlapping, you know you did it right. If they cross, then that means you probably made an error, and I would just bring them back and twist. But that is the first scale of that set. We are doing this left scale now. Get in front of all of those bands, including that cap band, and grab this end right here. Okay. Again, I'm just going to rotate. Alright, carefully grab that top band, bring it up and over, rotate again, get in front of all those bands, grab that top band, bring it up and over. Get in front of all those bands, grab that end, up and over. So 10, 12, 2. Over here, again, I'm gonna rotate just to try to make it go in the right order. Get in front of all those bands, grab that top mint, bring it up to 10 o'clock, rotate around, okay, get in front of all those bands. There should be 2 mint bands down there. Grab that top one, bring it up to 12 o'clock, up and over, and as you can see they're not overlapping at all, so I did it right. And then get back in there, there should be 1 band under that capped, and bring it up to 2 o'clock. Okay, so that was my second set, and at this point I can bring up the border bands, get in front of all those bands except that bottom, and bring it up. Same on the other side, get in front of all those bands except that bottom, grab it and bring it up. Okay, so now we're doing the next sequence, which is this scale, then this scale, and then this scale. Again, the center is definitely the hardest. I'm just gonna rotate to try to make it go in order. Oops. Alright, and again, get in front of all of those bands, including that cap band. Grab that highest yellow, which is this right here. Very carefully grab that one yellow, bring it up and to 10 o'clock. Okay, now get in front of all those bands, including that capped. There should be 2 bands left on the bottom. Carefully grab that top band and bring it up to 12 o'clock. And then last, there should be 1 band left. Bring it up and to 2 o'clock. Right, now we're going to this scale. We're getting in front of all of these bands, including that capped. Grabbing that top band, bringing it up and to 10 o'clock. Let's circle a little bit, get in front of all of these bands, grab the top band, make sure there's 2 over there, bring it up to 12 o'clock. And over here there should be 1 band left, bring it to 2 o'clock. And now we're going to this scale. Okay, so again, get in front of all these cap. Let me just circle around quickly. Get in front of all of these bands, including that capped, so that there's 3 remaining bands. Then grab the top band, bring it to 10. Next, we're going to get back in front of all those bands, and there should be 2 left on the bottom. Carefully grab that top one and bring it up to 12 o'clock. And again, in front of that cap band and everything else, there should be 1 left. We're bringing that up to 2 o'clock. And now we can bring up the side bands. So, over here, get in front of all those bands, bring it up, get in front of all these bands, bring it up, and repeat. So again, I'm going to do one more sequence in detail before I speed up a little bit and then fade to the end for clipping. Okay, so right here, this is the hardest. Get in front of all of those bands, including that cap band. Carefully grab that top light yellow, bring it up and back to itself. Again, over here, get in front of all those bands, including that cap band. Should be 2 left. Grab the top one and bring it up to 12 o'clock. And last, grab that bottom band and bring it up to 2 o'clock. Okay, now we're on this scale. Rotate around, kind of straighten it, get in front of all of these bands including that cap so that there's 3 bands left. Grab the top one, bring it to 10 o'clock, and get in front again, grab that top band, bring it up to 12 o'clock, and last, get in front of all of these bands so that there's 1 band left, and bring that up to 2 o'clock. Okay, now we're on this peg over here. Rotate around and straighten it out. Get in front of all of the bands, including the cap band. Carefully grab that top mint. Make sure you're in front of that cat. Okay, bring it up and to 10 o'clock. Again, get in front so that there's only 2 bands left, and grab that top band. Bring it up to 12 o'clock. And last, get in front of all those bands so there's 1 left. Grab it and bring it to 2 o'clock. And again, bring up the sides. So here and here. So you're basically repeating that looping process over and over until you get to the end of the loom. So now I'm just going to go a little faster without commentary. Alright. Right, so at this point I'm just going to fade to the end, closer to where I'm going to clip. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm up to my last 4 scales. So at this point I'm just going to bring up the sides. There's 1, there's 2. Center scale, then this scale, then this scale, and the last scale that I'm going to do is this one. So again, get in front of all of those bands until there's only 3 left on the bottom. Alright, grab that top band and bring it back to itself. Again, get in front of all those bands, including that cat band. So there's 2 left. Grab the top band, bring it back to itself. And last, get in front of all those bands. There should be 1 left. And bring it to 2 o'clock. Now we're on this scale. Get in front of all of those bands so that there is 3 bands left on the bottom. Grab the top one and bring it to 10 o'clock. Get in front of all these bands, grab the top band of the remaining 2, 12 o'clock, let it go, over here, 2 o'clock, in front of all those bands, grab that remaining band and bring it to 2 o'clock. Now this scale. Get in front of all of those bands so that there's 3 remaining bands on the bottom. Grab the top band and bring it up to 10 o'clock. Get in front of all of these bands again, including that cat band, so that there's 2 remaining bands. Grab the top one, bring it to 12 o'clock, let it go. Get in front of all of these bands, grab that last band, and bring it to 2 o'clock. And again, bring up the sides. Get around that corner. There's 1. Get around this corner. And there's 2. And we're on our last scale. So again, get in front of all of these bands so that there's 3 remaining on the bottom. Grab the top one and bring it up back to itself. Okay, again, in front of all those bands, so there's 2 left. Grab the top band, bring it back to itself. In front of all of those bands, so there's 1 band left. Bring it back to 2 o'clock. And then we're going to bring up these side bands. Alright, so 1 and 2. Alright, so we're pretty much done looping. And if you remember, the first band that we put on was this cat band that was right here, that's still on the bottom. And what you want to do is hold on to this cat band on one end and use your hook to get in front of all of these bands and grab that other end of that cat band and bring it up and bring this other end of the hook through that loop that you're holding on to, and that will hold on to everything. At this point, you can grab a C-clip and clip all 4 of these ends. As you can see, this band is holding on to everything. So make sure you go in and you grab all 4 of these ends. As you can see, clips on all 4 ends. And then I can let this go right here. And I can proceed to remove all of the bands from the loom. So, if you're done, it should look like this. Nice little pattern. And I'm going to start removing this from the loom. So over here, carefully going to remove all of these bands from the border. Okay, and from the other side as well. And then from the center, you can actually remove these bar pins if they're in the way. I like to do it carefully because sometimes when you're pulling it off, you might just pull too hard and then stretch some of the bands. So it's better to do it carefully, considering you spent so much time on this bracelet anyway. don't worry if your loom falls apart, your bracelet is still going to be intact. And now that you have one bar pin left, at this point you could technically just tug on it carefully. Alright, so last thing I need to do is just clip the other end, and I'm going to find this set of cat bands, so 4 ends, and grab the C-clip, rotate it, and grab these 4 ends. You could actually make it a lot easier by putting this back onto the peg and then clipping it like this. Alright, well, I got it twisted now, so you put this back on and make sure, yep, now that's straight. Once I have all 4 ends, and there you have it. Alright, so this is Rob from Justin's Toys. This was the fish scale tutorial designed by Loomy Mama on Instagram. I hope you enjoyed this video. Share your photos on all the social networks. Use the hashtag Justin's Toys. And happy looming!